Cool. Okay, so jumping back into the game. Sorry about that, guys. I just wanted to mess with some of the aspect ratios. Wow. Okay, so Nocturne gets himself picked up there by Lee Sin. Great shot blast from Jace to pick himself up a kill onto that Zac, and with that passive down, he's just so much weaker. Good roam from the Katarina, and I think that's something that Katarina players seem to be better at than a lot of other mid laners. Is that ability to roam and pick up these kills. Yasuo farming around that mid lane has been killed already, by what looks to be some kind of by probably a gank from Nocturne, and that's really kind of if you see this Katarina roaming around, you're going to see her start to make plays elsewhere on the map, and it's going to allow her to just become this snowbally champion that she is, and especially with the way her passive works. Now, Lucian Nami is an interesting lane. I think Nami is considered in the sort of Korean scene, it's considered one of the best supports in the game, but is one of the most incredibly mechanically difficult supports to play. And so, really, when you play Nami, she is the Lee Sin of the support role and puts your mechanics well and truly on display. So, Dark Binding coming out from Morgana, they're not going to be able to land anything. We're really going to see a sort of this poke harass lane from this Morgana Caitlyn. We're going to see the Nocturne ult coming around. It's going to try and find himself a kill onto Zac up in that top lane. With the passive down, he's going to keep coming back to that lane. Zac having a tough time in this top lane, and the changes to his unstable mana are not changes that helped him in the top lane. They are changes that helped him in the jungle, because he's able to spam that W. We're going to see a Dark Binding coming down to Lucian, the heal coming down from Nani to keep him alive. They're going to trade that Caitlyn out as well with the damage from that coming back, and really just a great move all around from that bot lane to pick themselves up that kill. The Caitlyn she did have that flash, but it just wasn't available. We had the exhaust available on that exhaust as well, on that Morgana. Zac coming straight back into this top lane and going onto that Jace. Jace is going to fall down there with the ignite. Yasuo, good roam from him. He's going to get himself another kill, and he's trying to mirror the roam potential that we've seen, or the roam play we've seen from Katarina. Now, Pink's coming out from Katarina. They don't have any vision in this bottom lane. Lee Sin's come around. He's got exhaust on him. We're going to see the heal come out as well to keep him alive. He's going to take a ton of damage from that turret. Katarina's going to come in as well. He's going to flash away, try and get out of this. He's not going to get any. Katarina can't get the reset. If she can, she's going to get one reset. Can she get any more? We're going to see her get another reset again. She's not going to tower dive that level 6 Nami. And actually, we trade 2 for 1 in that bottom lane. Great roam from Katarina and poor warding from Purple Side. So 6-4, we're seeing Nocturne here looking towards this dragon. That's going to even up some of the gold. That's going to take out the evenness of the gold and take that lead into blue team's side. And this back and forth, 6-4 now, 15 to 14k and 1,000 gold difference. So Katarina, brilliant roam from her, and really able to make those plays. The problem with going towards that gold item early on your support, like Nami, although landing a fantastic Aqua Prism onto Caitlyn there, the problem with going towards that gold item early on Nami means that she's very vulnerable. The ult coming down from Caitlyn is not going to finish up the Nami. The great binding there from the Morgana into the trap, into the stun. Lee Sin manages to get the Q onto Caitlyn. He's going to get out alive, does not die to the Morgana or auto attack. Wow. The clutchiest plays. Boom! Fantastic Morgana binding. Nami being cocky as all hell. She pays for it with her life. Katarina around again, wanted some more kills. Yasuo has followed her behind. She's in the ward. She's going to spot her with that Caitlyn trap. Nocturne's coming up into this top lane. Another dive onto this Zac here. He's going to fall there to that shock blast damage and the final auto attack. Great dive from him again. Lucian gets hit by that binding. The wind wall's not able to stop that. The dash coming out from Yasuo, but the dash damage has been lowered this patch, so he does less damage after you got a couple of stacks. Katarina comes fucking flying it out of nowhere, gets himself a kill with gets Morgana that kill with the Katarina assist. She has been all over the map, all over this map, man. I can't even keep track of her. She's so all over this map. It's fantastic to see. And really, she's going to be an instrumental part in these team fights. She may be 15 CS down, but I tell you what, she is a significant amount of goals ahead. Great running for Morgana, but Yasuo coming in now. He's going to get spotted by the ward. Morgana's not going to get hit by that, or she's definitely going to go down. Lee Sin misses that 1Q. Oh, doesn't quite land that binding, but Lee Sin and Yasuo are around as well, get themselves that kill. Nami picking that up. So not the greatest of people to have the gold, but still very solid. Still the kill, nevertheless, getting themselves that assist gold. Caitlyn going to throw out that ult, blocked away by the Yasuo wind wall, and now we're going to try and see some kind of mid push here with that Jace and that Nocturne. Jace having a solid time at that top lane. Nocturne camping out a little bit, getting him ahead, and able now to really sort of provide that different pressure across the map, not just up in that top lane against that Zac. They've got to make sure that they keep the Zac down, because Zac has such an incredible amount of engage with his elastic slingshot and his ult that we could see, and especially with that Zac with the Nami and the Lee Sin, and that enables a fantastic amount of damage for that. Yeah, fantastic setup for that Yasuo ult. Now, Lee Sin's Katarina's coming. She's got herself one. It's going to be the fear. The binding lands for Morgana. That doesn't matter. The Nocturne picks up another one. We've got that dragon timer. Not there. Why is it not there? I really wish it was there. Oh man, it was there last game. Oh well. The dragon comes back up sometime. I should have looked at it. But that bottom turret's going to fall 3 turrets across the map to 0, and that's going to give them another nice chunk of gold. 5k gold difference, almost. So really just able to affect these lanes, really able to affect each other's lanes, especially Katarina and Jace. Really able to affect the bottom side lane and get that Caitlyn in a stronger position. I mean, she's not doing fantastically well, and she's a little bit down on CS, but keeping that Lucian down is so instrumental as well, because Lucian, coming into this mid-game, this is when he's really that strong, difficult to deal with AD carry. He's going for that Blade of the Rune King Yumu's build, which is a classic, whereas that Caitlyn going towards that eye edge is just going to deal a different amount of damage and is going to become strong at different points. And really the Yumu's Ghostblade into the culling is a very good combination. The Yasuo Q coming out, dealing a little bit of damage, but the knockup not going to have any effect thanks to that black shield. Jace, Katarina picking themselves up, Lee Sin in this topside jungle, and that's thanks to this strong vision that they've put themselves down, so they're able to really sort of destroy that Lee Sin at that red buff and not allow him to get any of his objectives. So good invade from them. They're going to land a decent amount of damage with that Jace EQ, and they're going to look for this push with that Jace, Nocturne, and Caitlyn. Just decent amounts of damage onto this turret. Zac's still farming up the top lane. He's basically useless. He's been completely taken out of this game, really, and he kind of needs to stay up there because he can't really help defend all that well on his own. He's going to try and push this lane in, maybe be able to get something and come back in with his TP. But good defense from Purple Team, but they don't have significant amounts of wave clear, and that's going to be a problem for them. They've only got the culling. Lee Sin's melee, he's not going to be able to get in there. Yasuo's melee, he's going to struggle to get in there. And now we're seeing the TP coming in from Zac. He's going to TP in around this red buff, but Nocturne, so confident in his ability to fight and go, he's going to stand there, wait for him. They jump straight into the Lucian. Already picked themselves up. Jace picks himself up 1 on the Nami, picks up the 2nd onto the Lucian, tries to get onto this Yasuo who takes a ton of damage. The Caitlyn ult's coming in again. There's no wind wall available because it was on cooldown for another 14 seconds. Zac trying to figure out what's going on, manages to elastic slingshot himself out of the danger zone, and Caitlyn back to farming, trying to get that CS lead back up to where it should be. Dragons respawn now as well. That's back up, and it looks like Blue Team want to try and do this. Purple Team have the vision. They're 7k gold down. I wonder whether they want to contest this. Zac doesn't have TP. He's in base. This is going to fall incredibly fast, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot they can do. That goes down there. Great smite from Nocturne, getting himself that one. Purple Team getting a little bit of this vision back, and I think it will all come down to how the trinket game from Blue Team and the use of those pink wards allows them to sort of march into their jungle and take these objectives away from them and take these buffs away from them. And so gold at the moment, Katarina sat on 2.5k, Jace sat on 2.5k, Caitlyn sat on about 1,400. So we're going to see them back soon because they've got a lot of power, but it's unspent power, and so they can't actually capitalize on their strength until they spend the gold that they've earned. They've only got that strength in terms of the level. A great flash into the Yasuo ult, but just they're so far behind in terms of damage at this point in the game, in comparable damage, and Caitlyn managing to get out of there with that heal and her 90 caliber net just meant that they just couldn't continue to follow up. Lee Sin not doing the greatest amount of damage now. His damage is starting to fall off, or his base damage is starting to fall off. He's building towards that brutalizer potentially, which will allow him to kind of keep going in this. But he's not going to be that sort of that tanky peeler that he could be if he went sort of a more if he went more of a sort of damage, more of a bruiser role. Picking himself up at side sense is going to have greater potential with his ward jumps and his mobility. But he's going to I think he's going to struggle to duel this Nocturne, especially with that Nocturne now. Having that Randuin's Omen just makes him so tanky in this front line. And with these auto attackers like Lee Sin, like Yasuo and Lucian, he's gonna be able to slow their attack speed and just reduce their damage output. So blue team don't have any turret. Purple team don't have any turrets yet. They need to try and claw back this gold deficit, which is now at 8k and is getting worse and worse and worse. They're in strong position to try and rotate and push for these next objectives. They need to look. Blue team need to look and try and get this top turret and try and get this bottom turret. If they can focus more on that bottom side, like I talked about last game, they might be able to be able to force a poor Baron fight for purple team, and that's exactly where they're looking to roam now. They're going to try and take this blue buff away. Jace is doing so much work. Brutalizer, Lasso is back, and that Mana Moon. The Mana Moon is stacking up nicely. It's about 500, it's about 2/3 stacked. So it's getting close to that Muramana level. It's going to be probably stacked up in the next 2 to 3 minutes, and that's really going to be that next power spike for this Jace. He's got 400 gold sat in his back pocket. He's got 5 kills and 1 death and 2 assists, and he's really just being the instigator of these pushes and the instigator of these engages. If he lands that EQ on Lucian, we saw it before, same for Nami, it's half of their HP, it's a Nidalee spear. You know, this is he's so far ahead now, even the Q just a really good trade. So they can poke away at these guys under the turret and then try and look for the engage. Zac goes in very recklessly, baits out the Nocturne up. He's going to get out of that. Katarina pops her Zhonya's Hourglass. We're going to see Katarina going in very deep. Pops her Zhonya's Hourglass, and actually now she's going to try and dive into some more. Yasuo trying to trade back some damage. Caitlyn picks up that Lucian in the end. Now Katarina picks up that Zac with the I think it was the Ignite that finished her off. Trading that turret aggro around nicely. Jace is in a strong commanding position in between those turrets to try and separate the team apart and really allow them to push onto this turret, no problem. Just they're going to take this down, no problem. We've got 4 seconds on Lucian. He'll be back up in no time. 10 seconds on that Zac, and we might see, if we can see good harass and good poke from this Jace, we might see him able to get onto this turret now with that W, with that 3 attack speeds, 3 attacks that he gets. They're going to be able to do a lot of quick damage in succession. Culling comes down though, that's going to dissuade them away. Nami trying to look to get that Aqua Prism. A great Dark Binding, so much damage being dealt onto that Nami when she gets hit up by that. But Yasuo goes in, Jace turns around, he finishes him off with that, Caitlyn doing a lot of damage. We're going to see the ult coming in, Katarina is going to just get the reset on 1. She's not able to get another one. Great Dark Binding from Morgana into the Jace. Caitlyn picks herself up another one with that crit onto Lucian. That's 4 kills for 1, and now definitely going to be able to push onto that inhibitor. Take that inhibitor, take the inhibitor turret, take the inhibitor. It's going to allow them to push. That's going to naturally push in that bottom lane, and similarly like we saw last game, it's going to allow them to probably force around this Baron objective, and really being able to force around that Baron objective with a bottom lane push makes it very difficult. You spread the enemy team thin, you make them make poor decisions, and by making them make poor decisions, that allows you to capitalize. Nocturne pushing in on the inhibitor in the middle, that's a half HP, and now that those guys are respawned, we might see them stop this push here. Caitlyn's hanging around, she's not got a great deal of HP. Katarina's just respawned now. Picked up that Rod of Ages. The 20-minute Rod of Ages. We'll see how that works. That'll be fully stacked by 31:20 or something. And we'll see how that plays out for her. Not the greatest of items. I think with the fact that she's 5/1 and 10, she may be abusing the power that she has to be a bit different in her item builds with those. Katarina scales very well with levels. The levels reduce some of the cooldowns on her skills, and so she's able to utilize and being that resourceless caster that she is, she scales exceptionally well from CDR. So getting those resets allows her to use her skills again, and getting CDR allows her to use her skills in more of a poke way. So Yasuo trading a little bit of damage back and forth with Katarina. We're seeing an interesting sort of warding system from this purple team. They're trying to get these wards up in this red side area to prevent any jungle invades. They've got this one ward here on this Baron Pit, which is going to be spotted out by that pink. Now they're clearing this out. Morgana putting down that red trinket, clearing out those wards there. They're going to try and control the vision around this Baron Pit, and then force the face check, as it were. But with Lee Sin able to check with his Sonic Wave, he shouldn't get caught out. He's going to get spotted by that ward. And this is this bottom side push. They got the inhibitor. They got these 2 super minions coming in now. That's forced Yasuo to back away. Zack's been set so far behind that TP that he has is not going to allow them to utilize that for him to defend. Nocturne taking a little bit of damage. He's going to be able to smite this out, no problem. Not going to be able to steal that away. Now they've got that Baron buff. It's going to give them another 300 gold, 13k gold lead. Nocturne's coming in straight onto Lucian with a fantastic amount of damage from Katarina. She gets herself a double kill, and this look like this is going to be the game-ending push, I suspect. So Caitlyn is going to join up with the rest of the team as well, and they're just going to push straight onto this inhibitor turret. No problem. Jace just getting a little bit low there, but in his cannon form, he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage with that Caitlyn. That's going to go down as well. Two inhibitors dead, and they're looking like with that Baron regen that they have, they're in a strong commanding position to keep harassing away and allow that top lane push to slowly come in. Zack comes in. The Yasuo gets caught by the Diamond Binding. He's going to instantly die to that Katarina. She's got herself 1. She's got herself 2. Is she going to be able to get any more? She's looking for some more kills. She's going to get caught by the Zack in that Elastic Slingshot, but he's going to pay for that. And now with these siege minions, with the inhibitor minions, they're going to be able to take these Nexus turrets down. That's going to be the Nexus, and that's going to be the end of the game. So really great moves by the blue side team. We see them time and time again. We saw this last game, we saw this game. Push that bottom inhibitor, take that bottom inhibitor turret, take the bottom inhibitor. When that's pushing in, stretch the team thin, and really just focus on the Baron. And that's pretty much been the strategy that we've seen this game for the last couple of games, and it works. It absolutely works. It forces teams to make